know, no matter where you live in this country, you're probably about to undergo a renovation or you've undergone one in your life. It can be great or not. Please welcome our panel today. We've got Leigh-Ann Allaire Perrault, Feltis, Denise Wild, and I'm sure you all have wild stories about renovating, right?
Boy. 'Tis the season.
'Tis the season. So is this when people usually start getting in there with a hammer because it's kind of almost spring?
You know what I find? This is the time of year when people are looking around their house because they're cooped up inside, looking at where they should attack with the hammer, and then they start to freak out.
Yes.
Right? And I know that that's been the case for all of us. We talked about this prior too, but I think now is the best time to start planning. Please. Planning is the first step for any renovation.
Right.
Don't wait for spring to hit and then go, oh, we should do something and just pull out the paint rollers.
No.
You need to really plan because the key, I think, hands down, there's two things that we really need to be concerned with renovations, and that's time and money.
Yeah.
And planning will help save you both of those.
And we all have lots of those, lots of that to spare, right?
Oh, right,
Yeah.
totally.
More
Like
important, the
those are
second
two
one.
things. Yes. But time too, Mr. Entrepreneur with your business. Like time is something that so many of us don't have. And we don't set those expectations, which is the big umbrella.
Right.
Setting the right expectations.
Considering I've been hosting the show, it'll be 8 years in the fall. I know, I can't believe it. Amazing. Incredible journey. You would think maybe I would have written down a tip or two from home day. I don't know. I have done every single thing wrong that we've talked about on the show. So we always say, don't paint a room until you figure out what your decor is going to be.
Right.
I went ahead and painted the living room without knowing what the decor was going to be. So then we had to, you know, I got one of the designers on the show to help me. She took one look at the walls and she's like, oh, this is all wrong. So we had to repaint it. I mean, what a waste. Planning can really save you a lot of cash and headaches. Randy, have you been through renos?
Listen, like with the restaurants, my life is a reno.
Yeah.
And then like you get home and then you got to do that. So we started out in a smaller house and we renoed everything. It took us 3 years to get everything perfect. And then we had a baby and we're like, we should get a bigger house. And it was like, but everything's perfect, right? And so we go to a bigger house, and now we've been at the bigger house for like 3 years. And every year Sarah pushes for the reno, and every year I'm like, I'm not quite ready, you know? I just want to live here a little longer so that I know exactly what to do.
Right. Well, they call it divorce dust for a reason, right?
Well, listen, your marriage has to be bang on because you come home and it's dusty every day, and it's like, and then whatever you think you're going to spend, here's my tips on my renos. Whatever I thought I was going to spend, if it's 20, it turns out to be 50 grand. It's not that, oh, listen to your person, it's double. No, no. It's like 2.5.
Right. And way more time than you thought it was going to be as well. Like, you really have to be realistic about that. Denise, how about you? Undergoing a renovation, been through them?
Always. Yeah, so we also moved into a new house about 2.5 years ago. We had these grand visions of everything we were going to do and started on the top floor, finished the top floor and said, let's just wait. We have to have our pocketbook recover. And then, you know, now it's been 2 years later and nothing has been done. And I look around the house, okay, we're going to change this, we're going to change this, we're going to change this, but we just don't have the time, and you know, it's one more thing. I think my problem is that I want it all done at once. Like I want it instantly, it to be completely done. But really, if Leigh-Ann and I were talking about this earlier, if we tackled just a little bit at a time, it would be better. And at this point, I would be so much farther ahead.
Yeah, we usually do we'll do like a room a year, but we've been off for a couple of years because you get sick of having people in your house all day.
Yeah, that's
I want to come home and whip my bra off. I can't do that if you're installing cabinetry. Or you know, just go to the loo with a magazine. You can't do that when there's trades all over your house.
No, it's true.
The other day on home day, we were talking about you know, ideas for our master bedroom, and I was supposed to bring in a picture of my master bedroom. I was like, there's no way that's going to happen because the third floor of our house, it hasn't been touched. There's wall-to-wall carpet. It's nasty up there, and we've been living there for 5 years now. So it's a matter of the pocketbook, like the line of credit that gets used every single time there's a reno, and then we have to build it back up again and then use the line of credit again. So it's just a matter of timing and everything.
I think little steps would be good.
Little steps would be good, but I'm like you. I want it all done at once. And now I want beautiful marble walls, and I want the whole thing to be completely transformed.
I want to go away on vacation. I want to go on a cruise where my cell phone doesn't work. Don't call me about anything. Just when I come, hey, there you go. All right.
What you want is to live inside a reality TV show renovation, which isn't the reality for so many people. Renovations
The reveal.
unfortunately don't happen in 4 minutes in real life
Right.
as we show them here on City Line.
I know.
But
It's
and
unfortunate.
that is setting the expectation. So what you see in 4 minutes actually probably took 4 months of planning, and that's where the planning comes into play. Why it's so critical. And as you were saying, adding percentages, like adding on to time and money, we're so conditioned. We always hear add 20% to your material costs. Add 20% to time as well, because everything will take longer. Everything will.
So when it comes to your tips, LA, because you are often the one, you've done major renovations, but you're also the one doing the renovations for a lot of people, doing the planning and what have you. What do we need to keep in mind?
Well, so I come from kind of an interesting perspective because I'm not a contractor.
Right.
I'm a DIYer, but I'm also the person who oftentimes oversees the contractor. So I'm in the mix and I see how things need to work. It's very much like being the conductor of an orchestra. Like you've got to get people in where they need to come in and out when they need to get out.
Yeah.
So the few things that I've learned, certainly when it comes to saving time, if you can book your trades in advance, you're going to save yourself a lot of heartache because that feeds into the time aspect. A lot of times we'll decide, okay, we've got the money now, let's renovate now, and then we're deflated when we find out, oh, the trades we need aren't available for 6 months.
That's right.
So if you can plan now and get your finances in line, you can then start to make those calls.
That can coordinate your finances and the tradespeople?
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? Wait a second, I'm going to get right on that. Free app. That would be amazing.
Okay, so let's say you've saved in advance and you figured out when the trades are going to be available. You also have to come up with some kind of a realistic schedule as to what you really want done, and what's the most important thing on your list, how you're going to parcel that down.
So I would say work backwards is always the best way. When in your mind would you love to have it done?
Yeah.
So if you're thinking, I would love to have my main floor done by September 1st, by the fall, make that your timeline and then work back and figure out what trades do you need, what materials do you need on site, because honestly, 9 times out of 10, we're our own worst nightmares holding up renovations when there's contractors involved, because we don't have the stuff on site when the contractors need it on site, right?
Yes.
So make sure we have everything there, start figuring out if permits are going to be required, and whether it's a big job or a small job, it's so important to get those finances in line. And I can't stress enough, like timing. Like we always think we can do things in our own head. Let me tell you one quick thing. Contractors will always cringe when you say, yes, I want you to do everything, but I'm going to do parts 1, 2, 6, and 8 of what you're suggesting. They're going to say, I'm out.
They don't like that.
Because then they're on your schedule.
Right. Listen, plan. That is the key.